and we are believing more in the reflections rather than the powers that cast the reflections, and this is hindering us. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be explaining how current circumstances don't matter. Now, what I've noticed with many people, and including myself for a long time, is that when we pay too much attention to current circumstances, we actually block our manifestations, because we allow, by looking at the current circumstances, we allow our emotions to be a reaction to those current circumstances, which are only old manifestations, and therefore we take our emotional attention away from the new feelings we need to be focusing on in order to manifest, okay? Now, reality immediately begins aligning for you when you start focusing on a new energy, a new emotion, a new reality. It immediately begins aligning for you. But that sometimes takes time. It is like you are pregnant with this manifestation, but if you look at human beings, we take 9 months to manifest. Now, if you were to look down at your belly and say, I can't see my baby yet, and you believed in that current circumstance and you didn't understand that it's growing within you and it is aligning and it is coming into being, it would just be over for you. If you just looked at that current circumstance and only saw that current reflection, it would be over for you. And this is what we are doing with our manifestations. We are overlooking the massive power that is happening behind the scenes, which is where everything comes from anyway. We are overlooking that, and we are believing more in the reflections rather than the powers that cast the reflections, and this is hindering us, okay? Now, the second you start focusing on a new reality, it does begin aligning. We know this in science. If you look at particles, the second you start observing a particle, because there is a new energy on it, there is a new attention on it, there is a new emotion on it, it immediately begins responding. Reality immediately responds when you start with a new energy, a new emotion, a new focus, okay? But if you don't understand that that process is happening, and you believe more in what has already been reflected by yesterday's emotions, you hinder yourself, because you then look at reality and you don't see a current reflection of the emotions you've been focusing on, and you believe in that current reality more. You start to feel things like failure. You start to ask yourself, why is this not manifesting? Because you are believing in the outside more than the inside that actually casts the outside. And we do this so much in manifestation. And another thing I want to tell you is that very often I've seen this with so many manifestations in my life and in other people's lives. Very often, right before our manifestation comes into full reflection, that is when reality seems the biggest mess. And the reason for this is because very often the universe has to lift everything up in order to put it all back down in the place that you have asked it to be in. So very often, when reality seems to be the furthest away from what you have asked for, that is when it is right about to happen. I have seen this so many times. When you look at current reality and you see a reality that's not reflecting what you have been focusing on, you need to understand that not only is this a reflection of emotions that have been focused on in the past, that things also occur in reality that you may not understand, because the deeper part of you, the universe, knows where it needs to move things around and what it needs to change in order for it to come back into the position that you have asked for it to be in. So very often, things will look very strange to you. You will look at reality and you will not understand, because it's not your part to understand that. That's not your job. How things happen, even when they happen, what needs to be moved around in order for it to come back into the alignment that you've asked for, is not your job. Your job is to focus on the emotion the true power that casts the reflection. And the reflecting itself, the moving around of the reflections to meet what you have asked for, is not your problem. It's not your job. That is the job of the deeper part of you, an unconscious part of you that does the work below the surface. It's not your job to worry about that, okay? So we need to stop hindering ourselves by believing more in current reflections rather than the power that actually casts those reflections. Current circumstances do not matter. They are reflections of old emotions that you are no longer focusing on. And beneath the surface, it is all changing and it is all aligning for you. And even when you look at current circumstances and you see some stuff that may look so far away from what you have asked for, this is reality aligning things for you. And the only thing that will prevent that alignment is you believing more in the current circumstances rather than the power that actually casts the reflections. So continue to focus on those emotions that you have asked for. Do not be disturbed by anything you see, because it is all moving around for what you have asked for. Continue focusing on those emotions and knowing that that is the true power that casts all reflections in this reality, and you will experience the full reflection, okay? So don't hinder yourself by believing in current circumstances anymore. I really hope this has helped you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.